Hello everyone, this is Kyle from Mill Street Gardens, and today I'm going to start working on this mess, which is our overwintered perennials and shrubs from last year. So let's get going! I do have to mention that today is a glorious day where it's getting to be like 70 degrees outside, so I had different plans, but I was like, I can't give up the opportunity to do this today. So I go through this every year, and I move plants around and don't really have a game plan. So this year I'm going to try to have a game plan, and that's basically just clean up the plants as I go, weed them, trim them back, and I'm not going to fertilize anything yet. And then the second goal is to get the hoop houses ready to receive in our new plants that will be potting up very soon. So I already started a little bit, but here's a look of our overwintered perennials. Most of our stuff overwintered very well. I know it doesn't look like that right now. We had a mild winter, which was nice, and it's not over yet, but the worst of it's over. And you can see we did a lot of stacking, which made a lot of extra space in here. And even the plants that we stacked up did really well. So I'm excited about that. Alright, so here's an example of a plant that we're taking care of as we go. It's a Hypericum. It's a native plant, but it's a proven winner's version. And this grew beautifully last year. And it's be beautiful this year too. So just a few maintenance things that we're doing on it is, any weeds that came up, get on top of them. There's like a lot of leaves that fell off, which makes good mulch, honestly, so you can leave them. But I don't know if like visitors would appreciate the look of dead leaves, so I'll just clean those up. And then one thing I'm going to do is, you notice that I had a lot of new growth already starting to push. So I'm going to chop off all these spent things from last year. It seems silly to chop the plant back because you would think people would be more apt to buy a bigger plant, but it's actually going to make the plant a higher quality because it'll have a better shape, it'll bush out better, because wherever one of those little things are, new bloom's gonna, or new shoot and branch will come out. So eventually it'll look really nice when it all starts to come out, when it warms up a little bit more, and it looks a little bit more tidy because it has last year's blooms off of them. And also one thing to make sure is, if you do these to your plants, you want to make sure that it's a plant that blooms on new wood, because if you're chopping the old wood, then you're chopping your blooms off for the spring. I thought this plant was kind of cool. It's the Bloomerang Pink. It's a reblooming lilac by proven winners. And lilacs usually do start to bud out early. But not only is this budding, but it already has like blooms ready to go on it. So, oh, that is alive. It's weird because I don't see any buds at the top. Actually, that's probably where a bloom was. That's why I don't see any buds. So, even though that wood's alive, I'm just gonna chop it off. So, we have some of these from last year. So, they'll be nice and big when they flush out. And we actually have some more coming in. So, I have plenty of these for sale. It's actually so warm out here right now, it's a little bit uncomfortable. I'm not used to the heat yet. I love the heat. Alright, so I'm cleaning up the plants and I'm lining them up, and I'm keeping them in this like little sunken area because it's still, these plants still need some protection from the wind until they leaf out. And then I'm putting them over here because I'm not sure how I want to set up our shrub area yet. This is where we normally have our shrubs, but we want to do something different this year. Maybe put down some landscape fabric. So we're not ready for that yet. So in the interest of keeping everything organized, everything's going to be over here. So when we're ready for it, we can put price tags on things and then move them right over to our retail area. Alright, so another side note is a lot of our hydrangeas are the paniculata type. This one's pufferfish. Those are the ones with the beautiful panicles. A lot of the hydrangeas that aren't paniculatas start to send out their growth naturally early. So I'll move those outside because they're already waking up. But there's not a sign of life at all on this hydrangea yet. And it's alive. And if you do the scratch test, it's very much, see, it's green, it's very much, I don't want to damage it too much. There you go. It's very much still alive. It's just gonna live in here and it'll benefit from the warmer environment in here, and it'll be ready for sales in early May. We are getting there. I'm cleaning the plants up as we go. So here's some of the hydrangeas we decided to leave. Then I mentioned moving plants is like the worst thing in the world. So let's see. Oh, so as moving stuff, we started to unstack things, and we can see that things are starting to come alive. These are all the herbs that we saved last year. These lilacs are super weedy. Good candidate for weeding. This weed is super prolific, so it's just like any weed. It's good to get rid of it before it goes to seed. But this one especially is just horrible. And sometimes the soil levels in the pots sink over the winter. So if I get time to do it, I will just lift the plants out of the pots. It's hard to do that with one hand, but you just pop the plant up, root ball and all, and I just, put some dirt on the bottom and then maybe a little bit of fresh dirt on top. Maintenance thing is some of these plants that went dormant, we had some really mild fall, so I didn't really get a chance to cut the perennials back. I just kind of left them until winter took them. So gotta clean these dead leaves off of them. You can see the new growth popping up. It's being fine. I got mosquitoes attacking me. You just try to get most of this stuff up, because if it's a cooler day and it's humid, boitress likes to attach itself to these dead stems. So I try to get off as much of it as I can, and then pretty soon this new growth will take over. Looks better. So I'm about to call it quits for the day, so I'll show you the progress that we made. Still lots of plants in here, but a lot more room, and the goal is getting prepared for our plant shipments. So here's a shade one, and then the sun hoop house is where most of our plants are going to come for shipments. So it's important that this one's more empty, and it's pretty empty right now. We have our tulip and other ephemeral bulbs, so those will be leaving pretty soon. They'll be gone before the shipments come. So this is a house we were really working on a lot today. Unstacked a lot of stuff, made sure the stuff on the bottom had water, and it was actually a really good time to unstack stuff, because you can tell the stuff on the bottom was starting to suffer, and if I didn't intervene, then that would have been good. We're clearing out space. Not all these plants are going to stay in here. We got space over here. A lot of these still need to go outside. And then we got to get these, the floor cleaned. I'll show you all the plants that I brought outside. So a lot of these shrubs are already out here except for the evergreens. I brought those out today. But I did bring out all these proven winners things. We have a lot of shrubs. And these are still just barely waking up. They're at the same spot that they would be in outside. So I'm not scared to bring these outside. They'll be fine as long as I keep them protected from wind and well watered. Oh, so we have a lot of blueberries. Got like 65 blueberries. So if you need some blueberries, come to Mill Street Gardens. And then I also started some perennial over here. So we got to figure out how to get all this stuff organized within the next couple of weeks. Alright, thank you for sticking around, and I'll see you in the next video. Alright, so here's a PS to this video. Here's the next day. I had an opportunity to come back and work a couple more hours. We got this greenhouse buttoned up, so I was able to reattach the fabric to the floor, which is a yearly job because the ground here is very rocky, so the pins don't stay in the soil, so the fabric always comes up. So it's weeded, except for my parsley plant. I'm gonna leave that. It's growing out of the weed fabric. It's seeded itself, which is kind of cool. But then I brought the leaf blower, blew all these leaves out, and we got, you know, a relatively clean blank slate to work with. So this will be our third season open. So this is, you know, it's already gone through a couple years of use. So it's important to go back at the beginning of every year and try to make it the best that you can.